That's so incredible. Wow. I need one of those shirts, man.
Yeah. So every event, like big event, I'll make a new shirt. Just go print one up. GLAAD was here.
This is cool.
Keep his name alive.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah. How you been?
So good, you?
You busy?
We're always busy, man. We're always doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we're always at least trying to be in the mix on some things. I don't know. I don't know if we're doing a good job or not, but we're doing it.
Hey, man. You guys are doing it.
How are you?
The same. We're doing it. I don't know if we're doing a good job. It's happening. Yeah.
So let's start with GLAAD. The t-shirt makes me want to start with him.
Yeah.
Tell me your relationship with him, how you met him. Tell everybody who GLAAD is. It's a special person.
Yeah. So I met GLAAD 2020. I think it was 2020 when he first pitched at Silicon Slopes Summit.
So.
That was the first summit that I ever went to. And GLAAD and I connected on LinkedIn. And I saw him pitch at this huge pitch competition. And that's where I kind of wanted to be like GLAAD. I was, I'm the new entrepreneur. GLAAD is up on stage presenting, I think it was like $100,000 prize.
Oh, yeah. I think it was actually 250.
Yeah, it was, $250,000. I'm like, how do I get on stage? Because I just started my thing.
Yeah.
And so I met him. We went to lunch, and he was a different dude. He was like me. He in a sea of entrepreneurs, me and him stood out. I mean, he's a guy from France. He's a black guy. I'm a Polynesian guy. We stood out and we were different. So we kind of just rolled together at these events, at these pitch competitions, at networking events. We just kind of hung out and I got to know him really well. Funny thing about GLAAD is he had a lisp or a speech impediment.
Yeah.
And he had an accent. So I couldn't understand anything that the guy said. Like, God, say that again. And so when he was pitching on stage, that was one of his worst fears was talking to people.
He did a remarkable job.
Yeah, and he kind of overcame that. And that was one of the things that I admired about him. And so we went on this kind of entrepreneur journey together. And I moved down here and we'll just be at every single event. We'll text each other, going to this event. Here's some angels that might be interested in investing. And then, unfortunately, GLAAD passed away.
Yeah.
It's been a year and some time now.
Yeah.
Yeah. GLAAD passed away. It was shocking. It was shocking because I knew he was going through some tough times and I couldn't do anything about it. It was shocking because most of, entrepreneurs are in the same boat, having to deal with the ups and downs, having to deal with being broke. We're about to be bankrupt if we don't get any money in the next month. We may have to shut down. And I knew he was going through those kinds of things. And it was tough because I kind of was going through my own thing and I just didn't know how to help him because I was going through that same thing. And unfortunately he passed and it was just a sad time. So yeah, this is Vladimir. I want to keep his name alive. Any event that we go to, I wear a new shirt.
That shirt is so cool.
Yeah, so this is GLAAD. And I think it just comes, with a lot of mental health that's in startup world. If you're the founder of a company, it's all on you.
Yeah.
Everything is all on you. You can raise $1 million, $5 million and you have people's money and it's your job to be successful. And that holds a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GLAAD's funeral rocked me to my core. Like that was particularly when his mom got up and I was like, I left that and I was like, well, let's do something. You know how it's like as entrepreneurs and human beings, you're like, well, let's fix it. Yeah. Let's do something. And we started doing these mental health town halls. We did a bunch of things around mental health. We're still doing a bunch of things around mental health. but I still don't know what to actually do.
Yeah.
We're a year into this and like, I don't know. And by the way, like there was at that time, and even now, I still get calls that are heartbreaking like that, in our community. And I don't know what to do about it. Do you know what to do about it?
No, I haven't figured it out because I go through the same things. I should have given up a couple years back. I have had so many failures on this journey. I mean, I sell a sanitizing toilet seat. That is not the sexiest thing, And we've had so many no's, and I've had so many issues with the company, with the product, being an entrepreneur and inventing. I'm the actual inventor of Washei toilet seat. And it's not the most glamorous thing.
How did you decide to do this? Tell us the founding story, and we'll wrap it into the mental health stuff as we go.
So 2015, my 4-year-old son and I are at Salt Lake City Airport, starts doing the potty dance. We go stand in line at the restroom. He's doing this dance, getting ready to use the potty. Stall finally opens up, and just like everyone experiences, we run into not the most pleasant.
Everyone, including myself, just got that picture in their mind.
Yeah, not the most pleasant experience. And we have to use the stall. There's a line. And so I put down some toilet seat covers, and then I lift my son up on the seat. He has to sit. He's 4 years old.
And you got to be in the stall. Like non-parents don't know. Like you're in the stall.
In the stall, this small stall.
Yeah.
And he starts kicking and screaming. He's like, "What is that thing on the seat? I don't want to sit on that, the toilet seat cover." And so I put him down. I run over to the sink, grab some paper towels and some soap, run back, and I clean the seat down for him. He has to sit. He has to take care of business. He has to sit.
You're a good dad.
And so he went from a screaming kid to now a kid that's smiling, taking care of business, taking the deuce. And I was like, why? And everything in this restroom is like hands-free to eliminate germs, except the most important thing that you have to take your pants down and sit on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, before I came up with this idea, I was in government. I was an elected official in Idaho. I had this idea, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance and just invent this thing. I'll try to get a patent. And 3 years later, USPTO issued me my first utility patent. And that's when I was like, I spent 20 grand on this thing. I better do something with it now. And that's kind of how I started Washei. The idea came in 2015. In 18, I finally started to move forward. I quit my job, went on the show Shark Tank. I got cut. And then I just...
You didn't air on Shark Tank?
I didn't air. They
Screw those guys.
The horrible thing about Shark Tank, and I wrote this kind of little article about it, is that they made me quit my job as an elected official to appear on the show. One of the first questions on page 1 of Shark Tank application is that you cannot be running for office while on the network. And I lied, and I checked, oh yeah, I'm not going to make it that. I didn't think I was going to make it that far. And I made it to the end, and they said, Rob, you can't, you lied on the application. You can't come on the show. And I told them, what if I quit? What if I quit my job? And they're like, okay, let's do it. I quit my job. It's all over the newspaper from Seattle to LA. This article just went viral. Well, no pun intended, but went viral. Elected official quits his job to seek toilet seat invention. It was the most embarrassing headline ever. Like, oh my gosh, everyone knows that I'm quitting, to appear on Shark Tank. But it was the kickstart I needed to start Washei. But I quit my job, and then they cut me.
But you pitched in front of them?
I didn't even get in front of the sharks. I was there.
So who told you had to quit your job? Like the producers?
Yeah, the producers. And it was because I lied on the application. I just didn't think I was going to make it that far. Yeah. I went with a toilet seat down to the Venetian Hotel in CES was the Shark Tank auditions. And I was like the spotlight. Imagine me pushing a cart with a toilet bowl and a toilet seat in the middle of CES. And I had a huge crowd around me, and I made it. Like they were like, oh, this is reality TV. We want this guy. I just didn't have a business then. I had a prototype. It was an ugly looking prototype. And
What was it? What was the prototype?
It was the prototype of the toilet seat. Sanitized, this thick, these handicapped looking toilet seats that are like 3 inches like thick. That's what my first prototype looked like. And we've modified it now. It looks like the futuristic spaceship now. But that's how it first started. And me going through those trials, quitting my job. Okay, they cut me. I just quit my job. I have 4, a family of 4.
What were you in Idaho? What office did you have?
I was the elected county official, county clerk. So the county, the county clerk.
That's a big job.
Yeah, we have to run the entire elections in our county.
Yeah, that's a very big job.
The recordings. I was clerk of the district court. Anything that came out of the courthouse, I was responsible for. Bonds and fines, court records. Every document had my name on it. So 60 plus employees, over $70 million budget in rural Idaho. And
that's a big job, man.
Yeah, and I quit. And so, the ups and downs started in 2018 when I first got cut from Shark Tank and I quit my job. And so you get him back to GLAAD, right?
And you can't get that job back because you got to be elected for it.
You got to be elected.
Once you resign, you can't just immediately
and
call up somebody. You are the boss. Like the people are the boss.
Right. And I could have stayed in that job till I was 65. Like people liked me. I was doing a great job. I was the youngest elected official in the state of Idaho.
What part of Idaho?
Bannock County. So from Pocatello to Lava, Hot Springs to McCammon, that triangle.
That's a beautiful area.
Yeah. So I was
Income in years?
Yeah. So that area, 2 terms, and then I quit to take on Washie. Yeah. But yeah, so getting back to GLAAD, that was the first time that I felt the first punch in the gut of being an entrepreneur.
Getting cut. You don't have a job. This Shark Tank thing doesn't come through. Lose your insurance. You've got this prototype, which is probably not quite ready for mass production or to be on shelves anywhere.
Right.
What do you do? What do you do that day?
Guess who I get a call from? I get a call from the CEO of Squatty Potty down in St. George.
Yeah.
They call me like, Rob, we heard about your toilet seat. Come down. Just go and spend 2 days down in St. George. And they're like, they give me an offer. And I said, the offer was over 50% of the company. I was like, I don't know. If they want it, maybe I can just do this myself. So I didn't take the offer. And
what made you? So this is always the interesting moment in an entrepreneur's journey that I think is worth like talking about and maybe double clicking on for those listening or watching. You get an offer. That is a success, right? Like you are a success at that point in what you did. You made the right call in quitting your job, even though you didn't get on Shark Tank. All of a sudden somebody wants to buy the company.
Yeah.
So it's a success. Everything you put into it may not be, Mark Cuban level success, but you like, wow, you just did something.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur has this moment where they're like, what if I just kept going? What if I just, and like, that's how you know if you're an entrepreneur or not right there is if you're like, okay, I'll keep going.
Yeah. And sometimes I think that's my curse. That's my curse.
No, I'm not saying it's a virtue.
No,
I don't think it's a virtue.
Like, when are you going to give up and just sell the thing, Rob? Like I could have been sitting pretty with my full-time job. I had a great job. I had government benefits, 401k,
live in a beautiful
insurance.
place.
I would have had Squatty Potty. Maybe they bought me out or a licensing deal. And I was like, you know what? No, I got this. I'm going to do it myself. And then I went through this 3-year painful journey on trying to become this YouTube and Google engineer, going over to China, trying to figure out how to make this toilet seat. And it was, looking back, it was painful and it still, has the ups and downs. However, it's been the best journey of my life.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like this in my life. I have many products that I need to invent, I can make it 3 months tops. I know how to do it now. I needed to go through all those pains in the journey to figure it out now.
So when you say you were a YouTube Google engineer, does that mean like you're filming everything you're doing every step?
No, like
what does that mean?
I tell people I have a master's in YouTube and Google. Anything that I needed to know, I just went on YouTube and looked at tutorials and looked at how to look at like CADs, how to, design. I had to do it all myself. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I figured it out from YouTube.
Isn't that incredible?
Google. Yeah. And
YouTube is unbelievable.
They have everything. Yeah. Anything you need it's on YouTube. And maybe I should have raised some money in the beginning. I spent I cashed in my 401k, $100,000 I had.
There's another moment in an entrepreneur's journey.
Yeah. My wife was like, what are you doing? Like, yeah. And I was like, trust me, I'm in the garage drilling holes in toilet seats I bought from Home Depot.
She's like, what the hell?
What are you doing?
Going on?
Yeah. So cashed in the 401k, living off of that money. We had a cleaning business that we had on the side that paid for the bills. She was a real estate agent. So the wife was the breadwinner for a while. And we made it happen. But it were tough times. And so that 2018 is when the tough times started.
Yeah.
I've gone through about 6 years of punches in the gut, like actually just like tearing up in a bathroom because somebody broke the product.
Yeah.
It's not the most, people do some stupid things in bathrooms. Stupid things like going in Delta Sky Club. We're in Delta Sky Clubs. Right. Some idiot goes in and kicks all the seats and breaks them. Like, why would people do this? And because it's my baby and I invented the thing, it's just another punch in the gut, punch in the gut. But how
did you figure out how to manufacture it? Did you go to China?
I went to the biggest cleaning trade show in the world. And basically there's a dispenser inside of my seat. It dispenses a cleaning solution that comes to the surface. You have some toilet paper, you sanitize the seat down before you sit. We're getting rid of paper toilet seat covers. There's been no innovation for like 70 years. And toilet seat covers, they don't work. They're absorbent. After tons of research, like, listen, you're just sitting on paper, a piece of paper. So I came up with the idea. I was like, okay, I need to figure out who is the best dispenser maker. And they're all in China. So I got with one of the best, and they make our seats now.
Had you ever been to China before when you went?
No, first time. Funny story about China. I was living in Pocatello at the time, and I went to the local Chinese restaurant, and I asked the waiter, I was like, I need to go to China. I was like, you want to go with me? Would you go with me?
You're kidding.
And the waiter was like, sure, when? 2 months later, we're on a flight to China with a guy I didn't even know. A Chinese waiter. He was, and I paid for his ticket. What
are you talking about?
I paid for his ticket. I paid for, he didn't want no money. He just wanted to go back to China. So I paid for everything. He was my translator. He was my security guard, my tour guide. I got so like my kids call him Uncle
beautiful.
Kevin. Yeah, it's Kevin, kid named Kevin, and he took me.
He goes back to meet with family, see China. Like, what was his motivation for going?
Yeah,
just going back home.
The city that we were going to is the city that his family lives in. So every night, his family would take us out to dinner. So these huge dinners. I'm like, I got so lucky. Just like the ups and downs, the luckiest things happened to me.
You walk into a Chinese restaurant in Pocatello, Idaho.
Yeah. Mandarin House. It's called the Mandarin House.
Mandarin House in Pocatello, Idaho. And you ask the waiter if he wants to go to China with you.
Yeah.
And the waiter says yes. And 2 months later, you're on a plane. That is wild.
Yeah. This is no lie. My kids call him Uncle Kevin now. We've become so close. And we went to China for 2 weeks. When we went to the factories, we went and visited 2 factories. He was talking to them like he was the big boss. Like he was like, the way they speak to each other, he was like really demanding. I was like, oh, Kevin, good job. Keep up the good work. So I got so lucky. And I got to experience China, which I would have never have experienced if I didn't come up with this idea.
What do you think of it?
I love China.
Yeah.
Because of the media and because of what we think about what's happening in China, China is way more developed than we think. The technology there is way more advanced than some cities here in the US. There's robots everywhere. In hotels, in 2019, a robot came and gave me my room service.
That's cool. That still doesn't happen here.
I couldn't even imagine. It doesn't happen here. So I was just back there 3 months ago. So I go there often. I love the food. Go back with Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin comes every time? That's cool.
Kevin is my guy now. He's on board and he's the nicest guy. He doesn't want anything. He just wants to help. We find the best relationships through the journey.
Yeah.
The best relationships are people that want nothing. They just want to be nice and help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you figure out how to do it. And then at what point do you start producing? And how do you get the money to manufacture at this point? Was it the 401k stuff still?
Yeah. So, man, we ran into COVID 2020. So I quit my job 2019. Year later, COVID. So no one can even go to China. Everyone in the factories have gone home. So for a year.
In fact, everyone's mad at China.
Yeah, everyone's mad at China. For a year, we just stopped. We had to sell sanitizer. We had to pivot. And then in 21, I started raising money. I came up with a plan. In 21, we had the biggest restroom company in the United States approached us, and they loved the idea. And we went through 9 months of data, research, their engineering reports, and we were like, yes, 21, this is going to hit. And we changed the route of Washei. We didn't want to launch. We were just going to give it a licensing play. And at the end of 9 months, they were like, well, Rob, go ahead and launch the company, see how it does. And if it does well, we'll buy you later. Exact words. Another punch in the gut. Because we had changed the trajectory of our plan. 9 months was just to get this licensing deal with the biggest, number one restroom company in the United States. Another punch in the gut. And so thereafter, I used that momentum. I used like the data, the emails, everything that I got from that 9 months, and I went and raised $1 million to start. Went up back to China.
Who'd you raise from?
Local angels.
Okay.
All angels.
Yeah.
Doctors.
When you say local, Idaho or Utah?
Idaho.
Idaho.
A couple guys from Utah that heard my story. One thing that I did well, starting in 2019, is on LinkedIn, I started telling my story. I took the 3-minute Gary V LinkedIn strategy and I posted every single day. And
what is the 3-minute Gary V strategy? I don't know.
3 minutes every day.
Every 3 minutes, write something up, post it?
Take 3 minutes out of your day and post on LinkedIn once a day.
Okay.
Once or twice a day. And I was consistent for 3 years. Built this community of people who believed in me, believed in the product. And there, people who started to reach out. Hey, how can I invest? So I kind of built this community around Washei, raised $1 million from angels. And we've lasted on that money for 5 years.
Really?
Since 2019. With molds, 200, 300 grand, product, R&D, patents, everything. I've tried my best to bootstrap this thing and really because I don't want to take people's money and be a failure.
There's a weight that comes with money. Yeah.
Especially the guys that gave me money up front was a couple of my buddies. A couple of my buddies gave me a lot of money. And that weight is still on the shoulders.
Yeah.
And I kind of use it as, hey, I need to get this done. It's kind of a drive for me, momentum as momentum comes, but it's still a weight. And so, yeah, we raised over $1 million now, 1.3.
Which is not that much for a consumer product. It's really, you really have bootstrapped this thing. What was the first big sales win?
The actual first biggest sales win was 3 months ago.
What are you talking about, Rob?
It was only 3 months ago. We actually got into Delta Sky Clubs 2 years ago.
Okay.
Delta Sky Clubs. However, the B2B, so we're B2B to C, right? The end user is the customer of the business.
But who you're selling to is businesses.
Businesses. And we got into Delta Sky Clubs because of someone complaining and referring Washie. Someone complained in Delta Sky Club, your bathrooms are disgusting. Took a picture, sent it to their leadership and said, you guys should check out Washie. They contacted us and they were like, Rob, let's get it in. Salt Lake City, San Diego. But the B2B process is so long that, okay, we're on spending freeze. Oh, and the restrooms are the last priority.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's taken so long to even expand on the West Coast. We're starting to expand. However, the biggest deal that we've gone is a company called Racetrack. They're a little bit bigger than Maverick. It's a gas station brand.
Oh, okay.
Right. And they have travel centers in 7 states in the South. And we launched with every travel center in the South 3 months ago.
How's that going? That must have been huge.
It's huge for us. The PR that's come out it was the first domino to fall. The first domino for us because of the big namer decided to take a chance on us. We've had over 600 5-star reviews in the 3 months from their customers. We have install surveys that they take. They love our product, and we're finally starting to win big. We've had sales here and there. We've been in event centers. We've been in basketball arenas, but not as huge as this. This is where the first domino starts to fall and the rest of the brands come.
We need to get you in touch with FJ Management. The Maverick Group is run out of Utah.
Right. We've been in touch with Crystal.
Crystal, come on.
CEO. and so
I'll help you with that.
I appreciate it.
I don't know. I said that with so much confidence.
I got you.
Well, yeah, I got you, man.
But the thing about gas stations, this is the revenue model for gas stations. Do you know what Buc-ee's is?
Mm-mm.
Buc-ee's is like one of the biggest gas station brands in Texas.
Really?
Yeah. And what Buc-ee's does is their restrooms are first class, the nicest bathrooms you would ever see at a gas station. And what that does is that brings moms, that brings people who are on the road that know Buc-ee's. I want to stop. I need to use the restroom. We're on a road trip. I need to use the restroom. Buc-ee's is the best place to use the restroom. While I'm using the restroom, I'm going to fill up on gas, and then I'm going to go buy some snacks. I'm going to go buy lunch. And that's how gas stations and C-store brands, as they call them, make money. They make money because they need to sell, their Monsters, their chips, their convenience store stuff. And then they need people to fill up on gas. Best way is to have cleaner restrooms. And so Racetrack in the South didn't have the best reputation of restrooms. So to improve, they partnered with us.
Boom.
Yeah.
So this could be a monster company, actually.
It is
if you think about the various, you should be in every Starbucks.
Right.
You should be are you in the Delta Center?
We have some seats in Delta Center. Yeah.
You should be in every event venue, particularly every outdoor music venue. I'm thinking of a sauna.
Yeah. And so places like Disney, where there's people there every single day using the bathroom, airports, gas stations. We focused on those 3 industries because we really make our money on the chemical, the soap. So our seat is the first toilet seat that has recurring revenue. We have a dispenser that takes cartridges of soap, and once that soap is used, they order more from us every month. So the number 1 toilet seat maker in the world is in Wisconsin. We met with them last year. They're so surprised and so we've never seen a toilet seat with recurring revenue. And so we're the first out there, right? Proving the model. Delta Sky Club, Racetrack, they order from us every 30, 45 days. So we're subscription model toilet seat.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So 3 months ago must have been it must have been euphoric. like to be able to like start doing that and stuff. But what about like the low points? How did you get through those?
Oh man, there's been a ton of low points, ton. And that's why I told you in the beginning, I don't know how I've kept on going. I should have given up a couple of years ago. It's the curse. It's the entrepreneurial curse is just find a way to keep going. And there's been a few people that have had on my side, on my team, that's helped me through. My business partner, Dane Simmons. You always have to have a cheerleader on the team. Mm-hmm. You always have to have your numbers guy is the realistic guy, your CPA. He's not the guy to have in cheerleading meetings. But you always have to have a partner that can always boost you up when you're in the dumps. No pun intended. He's always been the guy that's been on the back of my shoulder for like, Rob, don't worry, man. You just got to get the next one. Just keep going. This is, and the idea behind it is that he believes in the product and he believes in me, the entrepreneur. And so he's always rooting for me. He's a realistic guy too. He's not like, hey, he would tell me if this wouldn't work, but he's always been the guy. And then my wife allowing me to go on this journey and her supporting the family for a bit. And it's been tough. It's been really tough on the family. I moved my entire family of 6 now from Idaho to Utah.
Yeah.
My kids didn't know anyone here. My wife didn't know anyone here. They go to new schools. My daughter gets bullied. It's been tough.
Why Utah?
Because of Silicon Slopes, because of the first summit. I saw the vibe here. I was like, I need to be a part of this. GLAAD was here.
GLAAD.
There were a ton of entrepreneurs. I needed to be around that because, and bless Pocatello, it's where I started, but there's nothing like that there. I couldn't get our seats in Delta Sky Club, or even the Delta Center. Being stuck in Pocatello, I needed to be around the people that could get me there. And so, I made the decision to move to Utah, South Jordan, Utah. And although it's been hard, I asked my kids, would you ever move back? No. It's better here. We see why we moved, Dad. It's better education, better sports, better things to do. Every weekend, there is something to do. In Pocatello, Idaho, you go to the trampoline place, go to lava, but that's about it. And so they see, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with Pocatello, Idaho.
No,
saying
it's a
that
great area.
There's a lot of opportunity here. And being an entrepreneur, I'm always looking for the opportunity. And so my kids see that. And
what did you say your daughter was getting bullied?
Yeah, we moved here and my daughter was 7th grade. It's middle school. Oh my girls. God. And
I just went through that.
Yeah. And she goes to school, doesn't know anyone. Girls in a PE class steal her shoes that are in the locker. She changes, puts her school shoes in the locker, steal the shoes. And when she comes back, they wrote all over her chucks, white chucks with some disgusting stuff. Just like disgusting stuff. And she went around, she hid the shoes from us for 2 or 3 weeks. She just went through this depression. We could tell something was wrong. The girls were bullying her. And she's a big kid. She's like 5'10" now. And, just the words and the eyes and that kind of behavior from girls. She just, when we first got here and she didn't know anyone, she fell into this kind of depressed state. She missed her friends, and my wife asked her, hey, where are those shoes I bought you? Starts crying. We find the shoes. She tried to wash the shoes, but the permanent marker was on there. We saw the things that were written on the shoes. And, as a dad, I was upset. I'm ready to go to the school and just tear that place apart. She says, no, Dad, you're going to make it worse. So it was a good time for our family to get together and become stronger. We I told her, hey, you need to go up to these girls and sort this thing out. Call them out on it, that it was wrong, that you knew that they did this to you, and call them out on it. And she got some courage and she went and did it the next day. And after that, the kids left her alone. She stood up for herself. She knew who did it. She just didn't want to say anything. And she went over to the girls and said, look, I know you did this. And she had a conversation with them and don't do that again. And so she stood up for herself, which made her a stronger person. Mm-hmm. It made our family actually stronger because she went through that bad experience.
Well, there's nothing like that happening to your kid that is a gut punch. I mean, that's the biggest gut punch of all, is it not? Like,
yeah,
my daughter's getting bullied in school. Like, that's worse than anything.
Oh yeah, and it's my oldest, my firstborn. I want to go to that school and rip some kids apart. Like that. Yeah, and unfortunately, there are some kids that don't make it out of that situation.
Yeah. Oh,
all over the Utah.
You're not kidding.
They are getting so bullied that they take their lives. The saddest thing, 12-year-old kids are doing that. And I'm so lucky that my daughter was able to get out of that. Oh, so lucky.
What a hero. She's awesome. And shout out to her.
Yeah. And the LinkedIn community. Oh man. I posted it on LinkedIn. I posted a picture of the shoes and I said, listen, please teach your kids about this, that they may think it's funny, but it's not right. And so many people came out. Levi from Kizik's, let's send her some shoes. Other people, hey, I want to send her some new shoes. Here's a gift card. Send her some shoes. Josh from Lehigh, send her some shoes. So many people came out. It's like, dude, thanks, man. And then there was some stories that came out. Hey, my son didn't make it out of this, up in North Salt Lake. And I had a great discussion with a parent. And their son didn't make it. They out of the bullying and took his own life. Oh, man.
There's nothing. I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine a 11, 12-year-old kid having to take their life because they don't want to go to school? So those experiences all come from, and the weight on my shoulders, because I moved my family here. My kids would have been fine in Idaho. They grew up with these kids. They were set. And because I wanted to take this risk, now my daughter's being bullied. So everything turned out great for my family and okay. But unfortunately, some kids don't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we do in Utah? I guess this kind of goes back to the original where we started here, where, thinking of GLAAD, your t-shirt of GLAAD. I mean, what do we do? Like, have you had any thoughts? Is there anything that works around supporting people's mental health journey? It's such a private thing. It's such a case by case thing too. It's like what triggers it for entrepreneurs and people in our community. It's different every situation that I found. There's no like common thread where you're like, oh, if we just fix this one thing.
Yeah, it's so different with every single person. And the thing is I don't even know if I'm brave enough to tell anyone. Like I can tell you a high level of what's going on. Yeah, I've gone through some tough times, but as a father and a man, I have to kind of like think, does that look weak for me to open up to someone and tell them that, I cried the other day? I don't know. And I don't have a solution for it, but I know that tons of founders that are trying to take a risk on their idea will go through this. Mm-hmm. They will go through it. And depending on how deep they go and how bad it gets is how bad the mental health aspect of it gets. So
my sense is things like this, exactly what you're doing right now, is useful. I think that moves the needle. I really do. Even just talking about it. What's next for Washei? How are you feeling?
You know what? We're grinding. We are on the edge of real success. it's been a long time. It's been a long time. 5 years going now. And we're finally getting some revenue in that will help self-sustain the company. Like I said, we raised $1.3 million. We're going through a seed round to end the seed round to get more products and things like that. But Washei is doing good, really good. For the first time in a long time, we're actual business. In the beginning, I got stuck on these awards, these being in the spotlight, and I wasn't growing the business like I should have been. But now we are in business mode. We have really good advisors for the company, and we're in a point where, crossing my fingers, that in the next 6 months to a year, Washei is going to take off.
It is interesting. Like you can overcorrect on certain things. Like you can, like even as a community, we get super excited about who was named as what and what the awards was given out and things like that.
Yeah.
And it matters. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as just focusing on what you're doing and building
the business. Yeah.
Like build the business. It doesn't matter that you have a spotlight on you and a microphone on a stage. That's kind of like a byproduct of the business being built.
Yeah.
Right. You don't get to like really skip steps.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not even the goal anyways. That's, like that's if you want to do that, like go be a stand-up comedian or something. Like, I don't know, like where that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But it's not really the goal. And I do think as a community, we get a little too focused and we overcorrect for kind of like the things that are a little bit more public. And obviously that happens everywhere, but.
Well, everyone wants the award. Like I want the award.
Yeah,
like
you want the award. The award's cool.
I want to be like, hey, the best startup, but you got to build the business. You got to build the business to get the award. And so, back. And then the
fun thing is, it's like the journey there is worth far more than the award. Like the award is just like, I get to look back on the journey.
Yeah, exactly. It is the journey. I'm blessed because of this journey, because moving forward, once Washei is acquired or whatever happens with Washei, I know what to do with the next startup. I know how to build a product quick now.
Recurring revenue on toilet paper.
Right. I trust me. I came from politics to the restroom industry.
This is cool.
Same crappy business. Restroom people are nicer, but now the ideas from all these restroom toilet seats, it's just flowing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Congratulations, Rob. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.